What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing part of a 17 game win streak I had in the Sunshine Cup with this triple dragon team, which started off as a meme team but actually was very viable. And I'll be honest, when anyone goes on a streak like this, there's usually a little bit of luck involved. I personally felt like I was just hard countering teams over and over again, but maybe that's just a sign that this team was actually very good in the meta. Also, apologies for the lack of regular videos like this. With the recent Team Rocket event, I decided to actually prioritize going out and grinding rocket grunts, partially out of choice, but also partially because it was so flipping hard to encounter some of those new shadow releases. Quite why Shelmet and Carablast were only available in the second slot for the bug grunts, I will never know, but it took me until the final day to actually encounter them both, and as a result I just didn't really have time to do much GBL and record my battles unless it was on stream. Also, I spent several days searching for an appropriate Giovanni to take down with my single sub 1000 CP Pangoro, so if any of you are fans of my old Team Rocket content, definitely check that out. And one final thing I want to say is massive thank you to Colin L and David Jameson for their donations and gifted memberships in my recent live stream. And speaking of live streams, next week's league rotations look absolutely awful, and I'm definitely going to struggle to get out regular videos during that rotation, so I'll probably go live a few times and do some spicy battles up against my subscribers. So if you'd like to be involved in that, then definitely make sure you tune into those. A lot of people have mentioned that despite having notifications turned on, they don't actually get notified when I'm live, so I will try to schedule them in advance so that more people are aware. But with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. Which newly released shadow Pokemon are you most looking forward to using in the Go Battle League? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, and spoiler alert, we do actually lose this game, but it is down to the game being bad and not really a misplay on my part. And actually as well, I want to say that when we end the streak, we also lost because the game just didn't work, so this streak could have gone on for even longer than it did. But anyways, into the first battle, we see Wigglytuff there. Pretty good for me that they swap out, because if they want to, they can double shield and fully farm down the Turtonator. But after landing the overheat and banking a ton of energy, we swap into Flygon. They only make it to a Sludge one, which is huge, as we can live that very comfortably and make it to a Scorching Sands up against the Wigglytuff. So Scorching Sands will be coming through. It doesn't debuff them, but they don't shield, so at this point looking very comfortable. We do have to remember though, our switch clocks are heavily misaligned, so gonna wait out the switch clock in the full, and the opponent comes in with a Swampert. And unfortunately this is where it all goes wrong. They got off 4 mud shots there, which they shouldn't be able to do so, and as a result I'm thinking, well, this isn't enough energy for a Sludge Wave, but it is, because they got off that extra mud shot, which they shouldn't have, which I didn't see. Unfortunately, they make it to the Sludge Wave, and now there's just nothing we can do. But GG's to the opponent there, and now into the winning streak. We're going to lead into Dunsparce, going to save swap into Shadow Flygon, and now a lot of people are using Shadow Flygon as a save swap. It is very safe in the current meta. I personally played it slightly different to a lot of people. A lot of people fought super hard for switch advantage. I wasn't really fussed about that. What I was aiming for a lot of the time is just to grab a shield, or at least get them into a range where we can actually probably just take them out with a Turtonator here. But we grab the shield advantage, fine with me. The opponent actually throws their energy there, not wanting to risk maybe allowing me to get damage registration error and maybe grab a 2 shield advantage, instead just playing it safe, making sure they got rid of me. At this point, this is where Shadow Alolan Exeggutor just hits so hard with those Dragon Tails. They go for the fly, fine with me. We're going to swap into our Turtonator. We know they've got fly. It's kind of unlikely that they're running Fly and Brave Bird, but it could be possible. But either way, we swap back into Turtonator. We're going to go for the overheat here, and overheat is going to do big damage. The opponent doesn't respect the damage there. They come back in with the Talonflame. I can either shield this and go for an Incinerate farm down, or I can no shield, come in with my Exeggutor, go for the Dragon Tail farm down, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to opponent there into next battle. You can see Turtonator into Credilli. So we are of course going to resist the Bullet Seed damage there, but they swap into Clodsire. So we're going to come in with our Flygon. I'm going to shield the first move as they force in the Earthquake. We can live an Earthquake there, but it's not super comfortable. So I'm going to use my shield there, fire off the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands is going to be no shielded. We get the KO. And I'm trying to make it to another Scorching Sands. I'm barely not able to do so before the opponent makes it to a Grass Knot, but the opponent recognizing we were probably going to throw after 4, so they continue to overfarm, and they do a very good job there, throwing just before we make it to the next Dragon Claw. So really nicely played there from the opponent's end. We're going to come in with the Exeggutor, as we can tank a Rock Slide reasonably comfortably. Honestly, we probably take as much damage from Rock Slides there on our Exeggutor as we do on the Turtonator, and it's obviously super effective up against the Turtonator. But either way, we're still looking fine. fine here. The opponent is going to go for the Bone Club. Bone Club doing more damage this season and actually making it a little bit trickier for us because a second Bone Club would put us into Fire Spin farm down range, which is very awkward because it's double resisted as well. So either way, going to fire off a Dragon Pulse, then firing off the next Dragon Pulse, and we should be grabbing the final shield here. And as long as the opponent doesn't overfarm by too much in this matchup, we should be okay. I believe they are 2 Fire Spins away from the next Bone Club. So of course Bone Club gets the KO. We come back in with Exeggutor and we're going to throw 2 Dragon Tails, throwing on the CMP tie. And from this range, a resisted Seed Bomb gets the KO there, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to opponent there into the next battle. Going to see Turtonator into Talonflame. So this is okay for us, but I'm actually going to swap into my Flygon anyways, and the opponent's choosing to stay in. So I'm able to outpace them to the first Charge Move. There's no point me not throwing a Charge Move there because that way we're just basically going to allow them to throw a Charge Move first, grab the shield. They go for the Brave Bird there, which means they debuff their defense, meaning that Dragon Tail that went through there very nearly KO'd. So that Talonflame is basically out of the game. They can only use it as a sacrificial swap here. We're going to no-shield this. A Drill Run will get the KO from that range, but that's absolutely okay. And the thing I liked about Exeggutor so much is that you can just shield once up against the Dunsparce here and go for a massive Dragon Tail farm down. Initially, I did actually try using Drampa as the third dragon. It just felt very underwhelming. Unfortunately, the charge moves take a while to get to, and it doesn't hit quite as hard because it is a non-shadow. But unfortunately for the opponent, they've got a Quagsire in the back. We are absolutely loaded on energy, so we go for the first Seed Bomb, grab the final shield, already at Seed Bomb number 2, and of course, Seed Bomb double super effective, easily gets the one shot there, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to opponent there into next battle. We see a Shadow Star Raptor in the lead, and they're running Gust as the fast move. So 5 turns up against a 4-turn fast move actually is very convenient for us to just throw straight away as we get to the charge move 1 turn before the opponent makes it to their first charge move. And at this point, we are definitely going to shield this. The opponent goes for the close combat, meaning the Incinerate actually takes them out, but I swap straight away and they come in with a Galarian Stunfisk, and that might be a slight mistake there, but I'm going to shield anyways. The opponent full sends the Earthquake there, and I'm going to continue to overfarm there, and the opponent comes in with a Ferrothorn. So actually pretty good that we did swap out there, just because Turtonator are going to absolutely shred through a Ferrothorn. I'm also able to make it to the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw wins CMP. The opponent should be able to take me out here with a Power Whip from this range, but we're actually 1 Incinerate away from the overheat. So we come in, get the farm down there. We're then going to bank the energy, swap into my Exeggutor, and Exeggutor is going to resist the ground type damage. So the opponent has to go for a Rock Slide. Rock Slide doesn't do that much damage. We make it to a Seed Bomb here. Seed Bomb either gets the KO or it grabs the final shield, and at this point it's going to be game over. As long as we don't lag when we come back in with the Turtonator, we should be winning CMP. The opponent does rightly overfarm, farming up to back-to-back charge moves, but it just doesn't matter. Turtonator coming back in, going for the overheat, and overheat, when it does finally connect, will eventually get the KO up against the Stunfisk, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to opponent there into next battle. We can see a Pidgeot in the lead. So Pidgeot is also going to be running Gust. You can see it looked like they were lagging at the start there, but actually I think it was just visual lag. I think they were getting their fast moves through, but we just didn't see it on our end for some reason. So I would definitely recommend, like, when you see opponent lagging right at the start, continue tapping at least initially. If you want to be a good person and let them catch up, then that's fine, but definitely continue tapping at least at the start to verify that they are actually lagging, or if it's just visual lag. At least that's what I like to do there. You could also just not stop attacking and just fully farm them down if you just can't be asked with that kind of stuff. It's kind of like good sportsmanship if you do let them catch up, but either way, you don't have to. And of course, a lot of your opponents probably don't do that, so you know, it is what it is. But either way, I'm going to shield up the Flame Charge. I'm feeling pretty confident in this position, and they've got a Swampert in the back. So once again, Seed Bomb going to hit for double super effective damage. It will easily one-shot the Swampert, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to opponent there into next battle. A great lead matchup for us, leading into a Abomasnow. They're going to save swap into Macargo. We're going to come in with the Shadow Flygon, and I will actually respect the damage here. Everything is resisted, but an overheat, if they did throw it, would very nearly one-shot us, and it would definitely put us into Incinerate farm down range. So I shield that up there. Doesn't really matter because I'm going to go for the back-to-back Dragon Claws. If they shield, then that's fine. We have a second one already loaded, but they let that go through, and I'm actually going to go for a Scorching Sands here, which seems like a strange decision, but I'm fishing for a debuff there. I know Dragon Claw's still not going to do that much damage, and we do get the debuff, so going to come back in with the Turtonator. The opponent goes for an Icy Wind, which doesn't do much damage. They debuff my attack, but once again, it's just an RPS game here. We can come in with the Exeggutor, They have not farmed up to a Blizzard, it's just a Scald. Scald is double resisted, it actually still does about 50% of our HP, but that's absolutely okay. We can fire off the Seed Bomb, grab a shield from the opponent, and at this point all we have to do is shield here, play it safe, go for the full Dragon Tail farm down, and we should be fine here, as there's just nothing the Abomasnow can do up against the Turtonator. We're going to fire off the Seed Bomb here. Seed Bomb is going to be shielded by the opponent, and I personally just didn't need to throw this. I could have not wasted that much time, just gone for one extra Incinerate and got the farm down, but either way, Overheat gets the KO, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to opponent there into the next battle. Not a great lead, so we're going to stay swap into our Shadow Flygon, and the opponent's going to throw straight away, which is a huge mistake. When we're swapping out there, we're one turn behind, so if you throw straight away with a Shadow Swampert or, for example, a Shadow Quagsire, that's going to be after 5 fast moves. It's going to give me a full Dragon Tail in for free. I personally would recommend going for one extra Mud Shot and then throwing. That way you only give away one extra turn away, which is the least you can do. Either way, we're going to lose switch advantage, but we can come in, get the farm down with the Turtonator, and then firing off an Overheat into the Dunsparce. Coming in, it does connect, it does huge damage. We swap into our Exeggutor. We're only going to have to tank one charge move here, so got a no shield. The opponent goes for a Rock Slide, and they've got a Credilli in the back, and Credilli has 0 fast move pressure up against both my Pokemon here, so we're going to go straight for the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb grabs the final shield, and at this point I can just let Exeggutor go down. I know an Overheat will definitely get the KO here, so Rock Slide takes us out there. We can come in with the Turtonator. The opponent's going to farm up 2 back-to-back charge views, but we're able to outpace them. Firing off the Overheat. Overheat gets the KO up against Credilli, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to opponent there into the next battle. Can see a Clodsire in the lead, so this is okay with us. And it kind of depends what charge views they're running. Of course, if they're running Sludge Bomb, then that's not great for my Exeggutor. But if they've got Stone Edge and Earthquake, then Exeggutor can do okay, but I don't really want to swap out straight away. Instead, I land the Overheat, then swap, and they're actually running Mega Horn, which would definitely not be good for Exeggutor. But we are going to no-shield that. We do live it. They come in with a Talonflame, and the opponent is going to go for a full Incinerate farm down, which is very nice for them, not ideal for us. But either way, we're going to come back in with the Turtonator, and I will consider shielding here. If they go for a Brave Bird, I can just Incinerate farm them down, and they do full send the Brave Bird. The Incinerate actually takes them out there. They come back in with Clodsire, and we're able to swap and catch. But I'm very wary because they threw the Mega Horn there. I end up shielding anyways, and unfortunately it was the Earthquake that we caught this time around. But either way, they're going to come in with a Licky Licky. They're just going straight Body Slam, so Body Slam not going to do that much damage. They won't be able to roll out farming down, or at least I don't think they will. So I just throw on the CMP die. Seed Bomb grabs the first shield from the opponent. It's still going to be tricky here, but it depends what their secondary charge move is. If they're running Earthquake, then we just lose this, unfortunately. But if they're not running Earthquake, I think I should be able to tank even a Shadow Ball from this range. So the opponent is going to farm up to potentially back-to-back charge moves here, but it doesn't matter. Turtonator should be winning CMP, and actually they don't have a second charge move anyways. So we go for the Overheat. Overheat gets the KO, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to opponent there into the next battle. We can see Talonflame in the lead, so this is okay with us, but I'm actually going to swap into my Flygon anyways. And the reason Flygon is such a good safe swap is there's only like a few things that hard counter it. You've got Abomasnow, you've got, if people want to run it, like Piloswine and Mamoswine, and then you've also got the fairies like Whimsicott, Shiinotic, and Wigglytuff, and that's basically it. Those are the only things that hard counter it. I guess Steelix as well, but even so, you're gonna have to use a shield with Steelix to shield up our Scorching Sands. But either way, you're gonna be able to flip switch advantage, go for a Dragon Claw into the Quagsire coming in. There I made a bit of a mistake. I think I threw after 2 Dragon Tails. For some reason, I just completely forgot that Mudshot got nerfed, so I was thinking there's only gonna be 4 Mudshots to the Aqua Tail, so I might as well throw after 2 fast moves. But it was a slight mistake, doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. We can go for the Dragon Tail farm down, swapping into my Turtonator. Now this is a little bit tricky for us because we're going to lose CMP here. If they go for back-to-back flies, I think we might possibly lose this, but the opponent doesn't. They're going to farm up 2 back-to-back flies this time around, but it doesn't matter because Exeggutor got so much energy farming them down. We came out with a Draco Meteor loaded, so they go for the fly there, but we go straight for Draco Meteor, and of course Draco Meteor going to be massive overkill. It easily takes out the Talonflame from that range, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to opponent there into the next battle. Gets the Turtonator into a Nidoqueen, so a fairly neutral-ish matchup. We will outpace them to an Overheat before they make it to the Earth Power, so I'm going to no-shield this. The opponent just going to settle for a Poison Fang, and at this point I'm going to throw straight away. I didn't really want to go for an extra Incinerate whilst my defense is debuffed. Instead, now we can swap into our Flygon, and I'm able to make it to a Dragon Claw, winning CMP as well. So Dragon Claw grabs the final shield from the opponent. This could be an Earth Power, so I'm going to shield, and it is the Earth Power, which is good news for me. Then I'm going to swap into a Gligar, and because of the nerf to the Wii Attack energy generation, we're actually able to make it to a Dragon Claw, winning CMP, and at this point I'm going to let the Flygon go down. I think if we shield that, we're not really going to come out with a charge move loaded, and we will be very low as well. So instead, going to come in with Exeggutor, of course, taking super effective damage from the Wii attacks, but that's okay. We're taking super effective damage here as well, but the opponent's got a Pidgeot, which we're also taking super effective damage from. So unfortunately, not quite able to make it to a Draco Meteor, but it shouldn't really matter. The opponent forced to throw a charge move here, going for Feather Dance, but I'm still able to make it to the Overheat, and even with a 2-stage debuff to my attack, Overheat still gets the KO, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to opponent there into next battle. You can see Turtonator into Shadow Abomasnow once again. So great lead for us once again. The opponent's going to say swap into a Shadow Quagsire, and we're going to respond with our Shadow Exeggutor. Now, I'll be honest, this isn't actually that comfortable a matchup, especially if the opponent's running Sludge Bomb. They're not, they're running Stone Edge, so either way, still not great. A Stone Edge is basically going to one-shot us regardless. We're going to go for that Seed Bomb there, so they do take a shield advantage from us. Can we make it to a Seed Bomb? No, we're not even able to do so, but it doesn't matter. We can come back in with our Turtonator. It's probably going to be like double Mud Boys in the back, so the opponent's going to swap into a Shadow Swampert, and we're going straight for the Dragon Pulse here. The opponent no shields that for some reason. What on earth are they doing? I don't know, but this is definitely game over. We can come in with the Flygon, get the Dragon Tail farm down. I think that must have just been a misclick there. I don't know why they would no-shield that. But either way, GG's to opponent there into the next battle. You can see Quagsire in the lead. So, going to say swap into my Shadow Flygon. And this opponent is once again going to throw after 5 Mud Shots, which is definitely a mistake. The opponent goes for the Aqua Tail there. They're then going to swap into Talonflame. And this is fine with me. I'm going to make it to back-to-back Dragon Claws here. So, the first one is going to be no-shielded by the opponent, which I think is the right decision there. We can make it to a second Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw number 2 is going to be shielded this time around. And this one, I'm happy to let the Flygon go down. The opponent's going to go for the Brave Bird there. So at this point, we come in with the Turtonator just because I realise I get more energy on my Turtonator. If they come back in with the Quagsire, I'm going to outpace them, but they actually swapped into Typhlosion, and I make a bit of a mistake there. I expected the Quagsire to come back in, so that's actually a very smart play on the opponent's end, just expecting the instant swap there. But we're going to shield that up, go for the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb is going to be shielded by the opponent, and the opponent is going to commit to a full farm down, but that's absolutely fine with me. We can come in with our Turtonator, easily tank anything they throw on our Turtonator. They come back in with the Shadow Quagsire. I know they're not quite at the charge move, so we go for one extra Incinerate. Dragon Pulse gets the KO, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to opponent there into the next battle. You can see Turtonator up against a Dunsparce. So once again, going to say swap into my Shadow Flygon, and the opponent is going to swap into a Shadow Abomasnow. So of course, not great for us, but definitely want to bait it out here because up against my Exeggutor, it's also going to be an absolutely awful matchup for us. And we're able to grab a shield and get them pretty low already. Unfortunately though, they will still be able to live one Incinerate, so they're going to make it to back-to-back charge moves, but that's okay with me. Going to no-shield the first one, so they go for a Weather Ball, and I'm probably going to no-shield the second one as well. Just save my shields for Exeggutor, hoping that this is the only hard counter they've got to my Alolan Exeggutor. We swap back into the Exeggutor, and they've got a Rangaroo in the back. So this is going to be a little bit tricky as they do have a lot of fast move pressure with those confusions, and they can spam Brutal Swings pretty quickly as well. But we're going to go straight for the Seed Bomb here. Seed Bomb is going to grab the final shield from the opponent, and we're able to make it to another Seed Bomb. So Seed Bomb number 2 should be enough damage to get the KO, and as well they're going to come back in with the Dunsparce, and they don't commit to a farm down, and that is a huge mistake here. I don't think it's going to matter in the grand scheme of things, as we were just one fast move away from the next charge move, but either way, we can now just full send the Overheat. Overheat gets the KO, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to opponent there into the next battle, another Dunsparce in the lead. So once again, just going to say swap into our Shadow Flygon, and this time the opponent is choosing to stay in. You can see we are lagging a lot there, but we do at least get the 4th Dragon Tail in, so it doesn't really make any difference there. They're going to come in with a Magical Leaf Victory Bell. We're going straight for Scorching Sands here. I'm not making it to back-to-back charge moves, and Scorching Sands gets the KO. We flip switch advantage, but unfortunately we just barely don't make it to another charge move there. So maybe if I didn't overfarm as much as I did, we could have made it to a Dragon Claw as well up against the Dunsparce. But either way, going to come in with our Exeggutor. The opponent goes for a Drill Run, which is a mistake there. Not really sure why they're going for Drill Run, but either way, going to go for the Seed Bomb. They actually shield. And I'm just going to no-shield this. They've already thrown a resisted drill run, and they do the same thing again. They come in with a Shadow Swampert, and because they went for drill run there, I think I can just go for a full Dragon Tail farm down at this point. So I'm committing to the farm down, and we get the farm down because of the opponent's mistake, and the opponent just concedes the match there. So GG to opponent there, into the next battle, another Dunsparce in the lead. So once again, safe swapping into the Shadow Flygon. We're met with a Whimsicott this time around, which obviously not great for us. Definitely one of the hardest answers to the Flygon, as they're going to resist everything we can throw here. At least with a typical moveset, you could run like Boom Burst or Stone Edge or something. But either way, the opponent's still going to have to throw a Charge Move. We've done some pretty decent damage there. They go for the Seed Bomb. We are now going to wait out our Switch Clock, come in with the Turtonator, and a Moonblast is actually going to do a lot of damage, possibly more damage than a Drill Run. So I'm going to shield that up there just because it is stab and Whimsicott is reasonably attack weighted. We're now able to make it to the overheat up against the Dunsparce coming back in, and then I will swap into my Exeggutor as the opponent shields up the overheat, and they come in with a Macargo. So of course, not great for us, but also not the worst matchup ever, as we're only taking neutral damage from the fire. We go for the Seed Bomb grabs the final shield, and you're going to see that unfortunately, for some reason, I'm not able to throw that final Seed Bomb, and it's just so frustrating. At this point, I'm going to no-shield. They're actually running Stone Edge. It gets the KO, and unfortunately we do lose that game. I was thinking if they were running Rock Tomb there, then of course that wouldn't do that much damage, but unfortunately they were running Stone Edge. But basically we lost that game because we couldn't throw the Seed Bomb for some reason. It just registered an extra Dragon Tail for no reason whatsoever, and it's very frustrating because that was the end of our win streak there. Could have possibly gone on, made it like my longest win streak ever, but either way, GG's to the opponent there. And now we're just into some bonus battles. I don't remember what they led with. Either way, we swapped into our Shadow Flygon. We're able to grab a shield from the opponent and also take out the Quagsire. They're going to come in with a Talonflame, so they probably led with the Talonflame. They go for a Flame Charge, and that's okay. We're going to come in with our Exeggutor here. We are tanking boosted Incinerates, but that's okay. We're going to shield this up, go for one extra Dragon Tail, and then, no, never mind, the opponent's going to swap into a Shadow Flygon, and unfortunately, it's not looking good for us, but the opponent's committing to a full Dragon Tail farm down. I'm pretty sure I left with the Seed Bomb already loaded, so we're going to come back in with the Exeggutor. We win CMP up against the Shadow Flygon. Seed Bomb is enough damage to get the KO, and we can just barely Dragon Tail farm down the Talonflame, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to opponent there, and that's one thing I will say, actually I barely saw any Flygon myself, or like up against myself there, so it's actually pretty good for me because Flygon was a bit of an issue just because it basically does the same thing that my team does and just fully Dragon Tail farms down the entire team, which is a little bit tricky just in case, like, say for example we save a shield for our Exeggutor, only to be met with a Flygon in the end game which just fully Dragon Tail farms us down. But either way, we're going to take a shield advantage up against the Talonflame, come back in with the Turtonator, and I'm going to shield this. The opponent goes for a fly, but I realized that this is going to be a team that I believe Yonkers showcased with Talonflame and Typhlosion in the back. Typhlosion can do literally nothing up against our Turtonator, and they've got Breloom in the lead, so we're looking very comfortable. Gonna no shield, Blast Burn double resisted. We can now just fire off a Dragon Pulse. Dragon Pulse will be enough to get the KO up against Typhlosion. I'm going to go for one Incinerate, and then I will swap into my Exeggutor. The opponent is going to come back in with the Breloom, of course, and now these Dragon Tails are absolutely chunking. Force Palms also doing big damage, but I can just safely shield this up. They go for a Seed Bomb there, and we're able to Dragon Tail farm down the rest of the team, so the opponent just concedes the match. So GG's to opponent there, into the next battle. We're going to see Clodsire in the lead. They're going to say swap into a Licky, and we're going to respond with our Shadow Flygon. We're going to no-shield the first move. If they go for a Shadow Ball, then fair play, but it's not going to do enough damage to put us into rollout farm down range. So I'm now going to shield this next move here. I didn't really want to throw straight away because I want to come out of this matchup with a Scorching Sands loaded, but I then throw on CMP, and if the opponent wants to, they can actually just shield this and throw another charge move, and in this fight I don't want to double shield, so I'm actually going to lose switch advantage here, which I didn't really need to do there, but we do get a farm down with the Turtonator. They're going to come back in with the Clodsire, and we are going to overfarm as much as possible. The opponent doesn't farm up to the Earthquake, so I'm going to no shield. It's just a Sludge Bomb, which is good news for me. We can now full send the Overheat. Overheat is going to connect. It does big damage. We're now going to go for a Dragon Pulse here. Dragon Pulse is going to grab the final shield here, meaning they're probably weak to Turtonator in the back, but I've just got to make a read. Is it because they're weak to the Dragon typing, or is it because they're weak to Fire? And unfortunately, it was the Fire typing there. We come in with Exeggutor. This is basically the only thing that we would have been fully farmed down by. We actually don't quite get farmed down there, but it doesn't matter. One Poison Sting takes us out, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But GG's to opponent there into next battle. Going to see a Talonflame in the lead. So once again, an okay matchup for us, but we're going to save swap into our Shadow Flygon. And here I didn't throw straight away just because I was hoping the opponent would try and throw straight away. And as a result, we get a full Dragon Tail in for free. But then we stutter, so I wanted to throw after one Dragon Tail. Unfortunately, because we stutter there, I'm not able to do so. So I throw on slightly poor timing that time around. Not intentionally, just because it didn't allow me to throw. But either way, we got both shields. We put them into farm down range. And I'm just going to let the Aqua Tail take us out. We now come back in with the Exeggutor, and the opponent swaps into their Talonflame. So we're going to bank some energy, swapping into Turtonator. If they force send a Brave Bird, I can still live this, but it is just a fly, so that's fine with me. I realized they were going to make it to back-to-back charge moves there as I reached the Dragon Pulse, so I didn't throw straight away. Instead, get a farm to 100 energy, use my shield there, and that way if they come back in with the Quagsire, we can of course just go for one extra Incinerate, fire off another Dragon Pulse here, and it just depends what they've got in the back. Of course, Dragon Pulse will be coming through, it gets the KO, and they've got a Digger's Beat in the back, so things are looking pretty good for us. I should live a Fire Punch reasonably comfortably. The opponent goes for the Fire Punch there, and I could go for Seed Bombs, but instead we're going to commit to a Draco Meteor. We haven't seen many of them land today, but Draco Meteor is going to one-shot the Digger's Beat, and I'm able to take that game. So GG to opponent there into the next battle. Going to see a Shadow Obstagoon, which is very cool to see. The opponent is going to stay in this matchup. They will still outpace us to the first charge move. But that's okay, gonna no-shield this, hoping that they don't get a boost, and they don't. But once again, I'm just gonna go straight for the overheat here. Not the best timing, but I didn't really want to take any more counter damage as we already were fairly low. Now we can come in with our Flygon, shield once, I should be able to Dragon Tail farm them down, but the opponent's gonna swap into a Miltank, and this is fine with me. They actually don't farm up to the potential Ice Beam, but unfortunately we do stutter there, so I don't get the extra Dragon Tail through like I should have been able to do so. But either way, gonna farm up to back-to-back Dragon Claws. First one isn't gonna do that much damage, but the second Dragon Claw should just barely be enough damage to get the KO if they no shield, which they do. And that's fine. They're going to come back in with the Obstagoon. We can come in with our Exeggutor, go for the Dragon Tail farm down, and they've got a Clodsire in the back. So this is going to be a bit tricky for us, and they're also running Sludge Bomb, so going to be even worse for us just because, of course, they're going to outpace us to the next charge moves, or at least they should pace slightly better to those charge moves than, of course, if they were running Stone Edge. But either way, going to swap into Turtonator, either hoping that we could make it to a charge move or force the opponent to throw their energy, and they throw their energy. We can go for a Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb is actually no shielded, but we are just barely able to get that Dragon Tail farm down there. You can see I was clicking on the Seed Bomb just in case they lived on like 1 HP. If I throw a charge move there on CMP, of course, KOing through the shield would have been my win condition there. But either way, GG's to opponent there into next battle. You're going to see a shiny Shadow Flygon, which is very cool. We're going to go for one Incinerate, then swapping into my own Flygon, just because that way the opponent's forced to throw on alignment, which isn't ideal because it gives a full Dragon Tail in for free for me, and they're going to swap into a Talonflame. So obviously they don't have a great response to dragons either. We're going to no-shield this as they go for the fly. I should be able to get 2 Incinerates off here before they can make it to a charge move. Actually, no, never mind, just 1 Incinerate. That is a little bit disappointing, actually. We're going to swap into our Exeggutor, get the Dragon Tail farm down, but again, they've got Clodsire in the back, and this is definitely tricky for us. And again, they are running Sludge Bomb, so I think Sludge Bomb probably the recommended moveset here. A little bit interesting just because, of course, Talonflame is very common in this meta, and obviously giving up the Stone Edge coverage is a bit of an interesting choice, but of course up against the grass types like this one, it allows them to outpace me just barely, and that will win this game for them. I was thinking I'm pretty close to back-to-back charge moves, but nope, I was actually only just barely at 1 charge move, so they will once again outpace me to the next charge move, and actually even if we were 1 Incinerate ahead, they still would have just barely outpaced me to the next move, and unfortunately Sludge Bomb takes me out there, and we do lose that game. But GG's to opponent there into the final battle of this video, leading into a Flygon once again. So once again, gonna go for 1 Incinerate, then swapping out, and the opponent, for whatever reason, just doesn't throw a charge move. I don't know if they started there or what was that about, but either way, gonna go and fire off a Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw is gonna connect. It doesn't do that much damage, but now we've got switch advantage. We're in a pretty good position, but of course, we are switch locked whilst the opponent didn't swap out of that matchup at all. So we're going to shield this, and the fact they're staying in with Quagsire maybe implies that they've got another Pokemon that is fairly weak to us, and they come in with a Breloom. So at this point, there's no point shielding this. The opponent will fire off the charge move. The opponent goes for Dynamic Punch, which actually I didn't even realize they were already at the Dynamic Punch. But either way, it doesn't really matter. We can come in with Exeggutor, go for the full Dragon Tail farm down, and I'm able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.